to start by congratulating you on your directorial debut. And the most impressive part is that I read that it took 19 days to film. I mean, you're a pro.
I had a really good team who supported me through the process, and we did a lot of prep before it. The DP and I and the production designer. So I think all that helped making it in 19 days. And thank you. It's been such a long journey that when you hear someone who's watched it and who loves it, it's music to my ears.
The things that I do want to talk about was the dynamic with the characters. You have, the victim that's not really so much a victim. She's like a warrior. So how was it to find this perfect lady to play that role?
Looking for someone who could, be able to reach into their vulnerability and be a real character while they're also being able, while they're also able to be physical and things like that. And having Ellie was such a dream. She's a true pro. She asks a lot of questions, and she really cares about her performance. But doing it behind closed doors, rehearsals and things like that, versus being able to bring that in the outdoors, in the wilderness, in the brutal circumstances, was amazing to watch. And she had done a lot of action films and things like that. So she knew how to handle a weapon. She knew how to hold it, and it was just a pleasure to watch. The character come to life right in front of your eyes when we roll camera.
Do you require a stunt double for any of her scenes?
There were a couple of moments. There were a couple of moments where it was getting a little iffy, where she had to scale down a cliff, and there was a moment where there was a car stunt. But other than that, most of the time she was doing her own stunts.
You're also co-writer, producer. This project has your name all over it. Why did you pick a neo-Western thriller?
I love the genre. I love, growing up, I watched, not just thrillers from the 70s and 80s, but I used to love a lot, watching a lot of Westerns, Sergio Leone, Sam Peckinpah, like all those things. We used to devour the content. And when I decided to direct, at the time, the thought process was, I wanted to do something that's contained. I wanted to do something with a few characters. And I love the desert Southwest and the gritty genre. So I thought it'll be something fun that I could explore. But as I realized through the process that the project getting more and more ambitious and more and more challenging. So I thought, hey, this would be my directorial debut. It could be something that I could, sort of control or have. But it started growing, and it was a huge learning process, making this movie, and having done it, I think it was the right decision, and I love the fact that I was able to make it.
Now, talk a little bit about the philosophy in this film. You had some narrating that was unexpected. How did that come about?
So even in the original, when we were working on the original draft of this film, we wanted to make sure that while we made a fun genre thriller, we wanted the movie to have something on its mind. And Ash, the writer, and I, we have a lot of similar observations and similar experiences and similar interests. So when he delivered the first draft, there was this original monologue by Jake, and it's sort of, because we had this extended backstory that we worked on, and there was no way to show that in the thriller, because the film starts and then it takes a path. So then we thought, hey, this would be a great way to sort of juxtapose, the character's philosophy while we, tell the story. And it was a way for us to show a window into his soul and how he arrived where he did ultimately.
I thought there was a really cute chemistry, and I'm saying cute, between the sheriff and the deputy.
Yes.
That it broke my heart to see the outcome of that. That was so unexpected.
No, thank you. First of all, Ash has this great way of writing characters. So even from the first draft on, when I read the sheriff and Gabon's character, I had a smile on my face, and I was like, "Wow, this is great." And I love films where even in the darkest moments that it has undertone of humor, and I thought Ash, even the first draft, did a great job with that. And during the casting process, we were looking for performers absolutely who could pull that off. And obviously, Ron Perlman is a pro, and he could do it in his sleep. And it was a dream for us to have had him to play the sheriff. But Gabon, played by Camille Legg, she was a surprise. And when she came into the audition and how she interpreted it, and once Ron and Camille met, the way Ron took her under his wings and made her feel comfortable on set, and they had off-camera and on-camera chemistry. So that was a real pleasure to witness. And there were times we would forget to call cut because you just felt like you were in that world, and it just and then we're like, oh, the shot's done, it's called cut. So it was a pleasure.
Now to my last question, as the co-writer, who was the actual last victim in this film? Because I think I sensed there were more than one.
Yes. Without giving it away, to me, the best films are the films where, you walk away with an interpretation. There's an intended interpretation, but I want this one to be, I have my own reasons behind it, and Ash has his own, but particularly this one, I want the audience to come to that conclusion on their own.
Great. Well, thank you so much for your time, and congratulations again. And
thanks for the great questions, and glad you enjoyed the film.